Do you know why you go to the store to pick up a substance? For the longest time, I didn't have any idea why I would continue to do these bad things to myself, to go and pick up one substance after the other. I had no idea why I would put myself in that situation. I have a better understanding now. I would start my day as someone who wanted better for himself, who didn't want to feel the way he was feeling. My first thoughts as soon as I would get out of bed is, when am I going to go and get this thing that would make me feel better? I would go throughout my day trying to find the safest way of doing this, whether it would be avoiding certain people, like my father. I could not allow him to know in my head what I was doing and when I was doing it, because it would make me feel more insecure about my drug use. So I'd go about my day thinking that these things that I had planned to go and get, which were to walk down to the corner store and pick up a pack of beer or a bottle of wine and another vape cart. And in my mind, I thought these would make me feel better. These would alleviate my pain and my stresses that I was feeling as soon as I woke up, as when I was going about my day. And I thought I needed it, but at the back of my mind, knowing it was wrong. My name is Anthony, and I've overcome my addictions to alcohol and marijuana. My intention here is to share my story, and I hope it can help. Today I want to share a little bit about overcoming addiction. If you would like to see more of this kind of content, please hit the subscribe button and let me know what your thoughts in the comments about this kind of video. When it comes to addiction, we have choices. Do we continue to use the substance, or do we put it down? When battling drugs, it is a battle for your freedom, for your own thoughts to be in your head. It is either a choice between meaningless suffering or intentful suffering. You have the choice of suffering meaninglessly, suffering with no end, drinking, smoking, and just evading your pain. The second choice, the choice of intention, the choice of choosing to strive for a better feeling, for a better life, and for a new day, for these feelings to go away. For the longest time, I could not make that choice. I felt like there was no meaning in the decision I could make. There was no way that I could make a choice for myself and I could follow through with it. That was a lie I told myself endlessly, because I did not know how to live without my addiction. I could not fathom the idea that I could be better without it, that I could feel good without it. That was a lie. I've never been better, at least in the span of 2 years. I'm the best I've been, mentally, and I'm proud of myself for overcoming it, because I eventually made the decision for intentful suffering, to go through my pain, to face who I wanted to become by leaving all my substance behind. It came to a point for me where going through the days was more painful than anything. Continuing to pick up the drink and the vape cart, it was so painful that I could not see myself continuing to do it. And so my meaningless suffering came to an end the second I chose to suffer with intention. My suffering came from having to face everything I had done, how I had gotten myself into this position of just at the bottom of the barrel. I put myself here. How could I have done this to myself? Hurt myself this way? I had to face that suffering. And the meaningless suffering, it came with the withdrawals. I did get through them because I had the intention to do so. I made the choice to turn my meaningless suffering into intentful suffering. I will get better through this. I will overcome myself. Because at the end of the day, it was me who kept putting myself in these situations that made me feel worse. I wanted to overcome that voice that told me I needed these substances. I needed to go to the store. I couldn't have them. I could not live without them. I needed to overcome that. And it came with a choice. I made the choice to no longer suffer meaninglessly, to turn my meaningless suffering into intentful suffering. I chose to face all my meaninglessness that I had felt. In the longest time, I'd accumulated this disaster of a bubble I would live in. I don't matter. That my existence is nothing. I'm a drunk. I'm a fucking hobo, and I'm going to die this way. I turned that into, no fucking way am I going to allow myself to live like this anymore. No goddamn way am I going to allow myself to stay here. So my intent became to live a better life, the life I knew I wanted the entire time. All I did was harness it. I took it for what it was. It was what I wanted, not the substance, because I knew I didn't want the substance. So I went after what I want, and I got it. I'm sober. And the entire time I went through all that suffering, there were only two choices. Two! And I could not stop making the wrong one. You may be in the same boat. So, intentful suffering and meaningless suffering. How did I overcome this? I broke my cycle. Instead of living a day of just similarity where everything was the same, I could keep expecting the same feelings, the same outcomes, the same safety of this bubble world I would live in. I broke it. I popped that fucking bubble, poured down the drinks down the fucking drain. I moved out. I changed my environment. And I broke the repetitive nature of my actions and habits. Why did I break the cycle? I wasn't happy. I was so in pain from my decisions that I knew my happiness could only lie in the decision to get better. There was no other choice to make. So my why became, I must break this cycle. I must become the person who is inside me already, who knows what is best for him. I allowed that voice to shine through all the other voices, all that meaningless suffering. That voice of my true authentic nature that was saying, hey man, this isn't right. This isn't what you want to do. I listened to that voice, and only that voice. It became my North Star that shined through all the darkness I was going through and feeling. And it allowed me to shoot for something I wanted, which I really truly wanted, was just to feel better. My why was simple. Why break the cycle? Why leave this bubble world I was in? I knew it wasn't what I wanted to continue drinking. Throughout my escapades of years of doing these drugs and abusing them. Because it was straight abuse. The amount I was having was ridiculous. It was beyond chronic. However that's described, there was no definition for how much I was taking. I could not find the definition because the highest definition for what I was doing was chronic and abusive. It's not something I should be smiling about. I'm not proud of it. My why was I really wanted to become this person that wanted the best for myself. I listened to the voice that wanted to help me, not the voices that wanted to continue hurting me. I started to view that these voices that told me to go to the store and to get these drugs and substances as demons. I seen them laughing at me every time I would make the wrong choice. They would laugh and they would mock me. And as I was going to the store, all I could hear was, "Why are you doing this? Why? Why do you hurt yourself this way? Why don't you turn around, go home, and face your fears and your suffering?" While being laughed at and mocked at in the back of my head and in my chest, the feelings I would feel. The demons were there. They were in me. They were manipulating me to go to the store, to feel guilty, to feel empty, to feel deprived of something. So my why became, I need to listen to myself. I want to do what's best for me. And it became my North Star. I started to view my inner voice, instead of being this person and this thing that was below the drugs, as the only option. That there was no way I would compromise in this. And when I did compromise, near the end of my addictions, I would go to the store and I would have these arguments with myself, and I would compromise on what I wanted. Oh, I only get 2 drinks tonight. That turned into 3 drinks, and so on and so forth. I would compromise. This compromising on what I wanted came with regret. It came with, wow, I'm not living the way I want to. I'm not listening to myself. I'm still listening to these demons. I'm still giving in to these things that I don't want to give into. And so for my long-term happiness, for my future, I think it must have been like 2 or 3 nights I did this, where I would go to the store and come back and I would fucking pour beers down the drain. I would have one and then I would pour that shit down the drain. I would have like a sip. And I was so frustrated and mad at myself that I was compromising with what I truly wanted. I would pour it down the drain. I did this 2 or 3 times. I have not gone back since. Compromising my why was so painful that I could not bring myself to do it again. Compromising my reason to push past these addictions hurt much more than feeling high or drunk. It was the worst thing I could do to myself, even more than drinking myself out. What is your why? Why do you want to quit? Do you want to keep your word to yourself? Do you want to feel better? Of course you want to feel better. That's why you drink. That's why you do these things. For me, my why, I needed the strength to become the better person. The person I always wanted to be. Who was locked away. Who I drowned out. So I said, no, I will not compromise. I'll not let these demons fester in me for another day, another night. I do not allow it. Because if I allow it, I am defeated, and there's no point in trying. So I don't compromise. How do you not compromise trying to feel better? Build up repetition. You tell yourself what you want, and that you'll get it, and that you're done hurting yourself. And if you're not done hurting yourself, and you're not sick and tired of where you are, I don't think you can change. And I don't think anyone can change you. I believe you have to be willing to go through that suffering with intention. Otherwise, you're just going to keep this hatred bubbling and bubbling and bubbling until you can't take the pain anymore and you need to change. So when you're ready and you've accumulated the strength and the courage, the bravery to go down this treacherous path, to feel free, and to alleviate yourself from all this sin and guilt and shame, and you decide enough is enough, what can you expect? Well, from my experience, I'm trying to turn my pain into purpose. What'll drive you through this painful path? It's your purpose. Your new purpose to get better, to get through these challenges of becoming that greater you. Bringing forth your inner voice, your inner authentic self that tells you what's right and wrong. It tells you, hey man, that's not right. Let's do this instead. That person who has your best intention at heart is you, not the voices of the drugs. If you can tell between what your voices are, and versus what these intruder thoughts are, because they're just intruders, they're invaders. You don't want them here, right? And what do we do with invaders? Kick them the fuck out. They don't belong. So once you can differentiate what your thoughts are and what the thoughts of these demons are, these mockery demons that want to control your mind, to put you in places and feelings that you don't want to be in, you can turn that pain into purpose. No. I will not feel this way. I want better for myself and for my family. That's how I got through it. And I believe if you can turn all this pain that you were experiencing to some form of drive and purpose and motivation for yourself, something that can drive you forward, it can help you exponentially more than numbing out your pain. Because pain is powerful and pain is meaningful. If you make your pain meaningful, you can give yourself purpose. And purpose drives us, pushes us. You can achieve the things you want to do. You can get to where you want. Because your pain doesn't hurt you no more. It doesn't hold you down the same way as this hurtful pain that you can carry on with. As opposed to the pain that you would rather numb out. You can use that as a drive. Turn your pain into purpose. Make it meaningful. Make it strong. Strengthen your pain to a point where when you look at that pain, you're like, no, I don't want to face that pain ever again. Or I don't want to feel that way ever again. I would rather feel all this struggle and all this pain right now to move forward for something better for myself than ever feel that hurtful pain ever again. Your pain can become a drive that's meaningful towards you instead of hurtful and crumbling. It can provide, your pain can provide a deeper message that you can bring out into the world. Hey, I struggled with this. I know how to overcome it. That's kind of what I'm doing here. Turning my pain into purpose. And I'm proud of myself for it. I'm not proud of the pain I went through and the drugs and the suffering, but I'm proud of myself for doing something about it. For being able to take the action that I've always wanted. So if you're feeling painful and hurt and just struck down by your own pain and your own self and getting beat into, you feeling just hurt right now. That you can make your pain into something that serves you instead of hurts you. Pain can do you a great disservice as much as it can do you a great service. It took me a while to turn my pain into something that hurt me, into something that, you know what? No, I'm running away from it. No, I'm not dealing with it no more. I'm not going to allow this to put me down even deeper into this grave that I've already dug myself in. This pain would keep fucking shoveling loads, making me go deeper, you know? Fucking putting me fucking under. And I said, you know what? Pain, you're going to push me out of here. I'm going to stand on top of you. One step at a freaking time, I'm going to get out of this hole. And you're going to help me along the way, pain. You're going to show me where I want to go. And you're also going to show me where I'm not going. Because I'm done here in this hole. I'm done with you, pain. You have not helped me this way, so we're going to treat you differently. And you know what, pain? You're by my side. You are my guide. And I will treat you with respect. Because there's no point. There's no point in me viewing my pain as something that needed to continue hurting me. My pain became the reason I wanted to become better. It became my why. Done with this pain. Done with it. I stopped holding on to the pain how I always have. There's something that hurts me. I turned my pain into purpose. And I think if you can do that, you can overcome your addiction, your drug use, or what you're going through. Quite a lot of thoughts on this video. But if you can take one thing away from here, that the choice of suffering with intention to face the pain is the right choice. I believe it's the right choice for you than continuing to suffer meaninglessly. Choosing to simply take the pain head on and face it and run with it. That's a strength that you can achieve. It's just in your choice, in your decision. Are you going to do it now or are you going to do it another time? I'm so proud of myself for continuously making the right choices to overcome my pain, my suffering, and my drug use. Because I had the intention to do so. And now I have the intention to turn my mess into a message. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. I'll know I'll keep making more like this. Subscribe and leave a comment. I wish you all the best in making the right choices for yourself, for your happiness, and for what you want. And I hope your pain can somewhat feel a little bit easier to deal with after going through this video. This has been Anthony. I hope you've gained something from this video. And I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.